All right, good morning, everyone. So, welcome again to another Sunday morning session. Now, the whole idea of these sessions was to help students prepare for the selective school exam, which is 20th of June, 2 weeks from now, right? And we started back in September, and I've covered around 26 hours with you so far. Yes, 3 terms, a little over 3 terms. Now, I was just going through what we've covered. I think I have covered pretty much everything except a few corner topics which I feel requires a lot more depth uh, and time. But then I have covered 90+% of the topics that are going to come in your exam. And they range from year 7 to year 9, and at times I have gone up till touching year 10 as well. So I've just done a mixed bag of all the topics. We focused a lot on algebra, and that I remain consistent with my statement that algebra is the bread and butter of mathematics. Forget about the exam, forget about your school. Algebra in maths is your life skill. So if you don't know anything else in maths than algebra, you should be fine, right? As a life skill. I am a very algebra focused and a highly algebra lover teacher, right? And I feel that any topic that you are going to do in maths will require algebra skills at the end of the day, right? Because you will be solving for an unknown at the end, and that is what algebra is all about, finding the unknown. So now, what we are going to do today is, from a topic standpoint, I think I have exhausted pretty much to the point that I think I've covered most of it. Right? So today we are going to revise algebra. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw questions today. The idea is I will be just testing you on your algebra, right? And this will range from year 7, year 8, year 9, right? So, and I think most of you should be able to cope with it. Right? And I'll be very happy. And I am very happy to know because I know your levels. Now, with just 2 more weeks to go for your exam, and especially for the students who are actually preparing for it, I know it's a lot um, that you must be going through at the moment. So, with respecting your time, today we will have our last session, right, of the term and last session, right? We will finish today, right? And uh, and yeah, I will be available on WhatsApp for any kind of support that you need, right? I will give, I'll try to, give you an opportunity to talk about it, how you went through in this past 3 months, more than, 6, 8 months that you've been with me. If you really want to, we will still be a part of the WhatsApp community, right? So that support system will stay in place in case you need my help at any point in time. So without, sort of investing any more time in me talking, let's get straight into what we want to do today, which is revising algebra, right? So I'm going to share my screen and I'll start throwing questions. Questions could be easy, questions could be at a medium level, questions could be difficult. So if it is easy, good. If it is difficult, better, right? If you find questions easy, that means you prepared well. If you find questions difficult, it could be because the question is really difficult, or you might a bit more hand on it. So either way, the point is to encourage you to practice more, right? Questions would be easy, right? I'll start with easier ones. what I'm going to revise is algebra, multiple choice questions, a few problem solving questions, and maybe algebra, and probably another part of algebra is linear equations. We'll just try doing that. All right, I'm going to share my screen. And you can see my screen. I'll disable the annotations for others. Have I? Yes. All right, cool. And I don't need any extra comment on the chat, so please be well behaved, right? All right, cool. Let's kick off, and I'm going to just start throwing snippies at you for the questions that I want you to solve. All right. Here you go. I could be slow, snippy, copy pasting, but I think you should be fine. All right. Question right on your screen. So the answer to the first question, right? How many participants do we have today? 29. Yeah, this long weekend, people could be missing. I understand. Sai, just anyone who with the name Sai, you answered a choice 4 times, and this is your last warning. If I see anyone repeating their answers, they'll be out of the session, right? Last and final warning, right? And I don't want to see any sorry here as well, right? Once and all. And I'll be very strict. Last lesson. Okay, the choice number is, did you say C, which is 8? It is asking us what is the coefficient of the third term. 1, 2, 3. My third term is 8y squared. So my coefficient is 8. Good. Next one. Not complexity. There you go. Coefficient of x squared is, smile on the camera, last warning. You'll be out after this. C is what I'm seeing from people. Is C the right answer? Anyone who doesn't understand why C is the right answer, please let me know a no on the chat. Now, again, I'll quickly explain as we speak. X square, the coefficient of x square, the number that sits with x square. So x square is written as x square over 5. So I can write it as 1 over 5 times x square. So basically the coefficient is the number that sits with the variable. So 1 on 5 is the answer. All right, next one. Can I have the simplified form? I need the choice number, not the exact answer. Give me the choice number. People are saying D. Did I see A as well from anyone? No. Someone said A as well. So there's a split between A and D. Let's quickly do it. 4x square yz over 12xz. The Law of indices. Z cancels. X, there's one X at the bottom, there's two X's on the top. So one X can go away. Or I can write it like this as well. 4 times X times X times Y times Z over 12 times X times Z. And now it should be easy. XX gone, sorry, ZZ gone, XX gone. And 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. So what's remaining? I've got X and Y. XY over 3 is the answer. So choice number D, not A. All right, good. Next question. You should have it on your tips now, these kind of questions. Think about it before you really answer. People are saying E. Mel had $60 in her purse. She had $60. And she spent X plus 10. She spent X plus 10. So I have to put a bracket. So when I open the bracket up, that's what it becomes, which becomes 50 take away X dollars. So the choice is E. All right, let's go next. Which of the following is a like term? Choice number. D is what people are saying. D. Yes, D sounds convincing to me. All right, well, let's quickly have a look. 3x square y. Now, obviously, that's not the answer. XY is not the answer. XY is not the answer. Look here. Yx square. So since this is multiplication, order does not matter. So x square y and yx square, they are one and the same thing because they are actually multiplying with each other. And in multiplication, order does not matter, which means 3 times 2 is as good as 2 times 3. So yes, choice number D is the answer. All right, next. People are saying A. All right. I have around 37 kids joining me today. Can I have 37 answers? And if you don't know, just say I don't know. That's fine. All right, let's see what it is, right? I'm being told A. Simplified version. So negative 10x y squared plus 7xy squared. They're like terms, which actually means what I'm doing is this. in terms of coefficient, which is nothing but -3. And I just add the variable along with that, which means choice number A. Good. Good on you. Next one. Take your time. Someone said a D. Someone said a B. This is where it looks like it's tricking you. There's nothing called is it. I've seen an A now, a B. All right, waiting for more answers. This needs a bit of a sort of working out to do. B is the answer, which is correct. We'll give a minute more for people to solve, and then I jump in. 1 more minute. Okay, let's solve it. I have x plus 3 plus x minus 3, 3x plus 1. Now I can't take any common factor out of these two terms. So that could have made my life easy. The only way to proceed is expanding these brackets first and then collecting all the like terms. Let's do it. So I'll just write x plus 3 as is. Now this x gets multiplied by 3x squared here. 3x becomes 3x squared. And then this positive x gets multiplied with positive 1. And you get an x back. Then this -3 gets multiplied with the 3x, making it 9x, -9x. Why? Because it's a negative here. And -3 is then getting multiplied with positive 1 to get a -3. So that's the expansion part. And I tell you, in expansion, anyone can go wrong, even I can go wrong. I still go wrong. You need to be careful. Now let's collect the like terms, right? So I start with the highest order. I just always try to collect the highest order first and then go decreasing. So x squares, I don't have any other x squares. X, I got 1, 2, 3. So got an x, and a 9x. And then I have a +3 and a -3. Let's now finish this off. 3x squared. This is 2x positive. So this becomes what? A -7x. Because what you're doing is 2x take away 9x. And +3, -3 is gone. So the final answer is 3x squared minus 7x. B is the answer. Arav, you still didn't get it? No? So it's just expanding the bracket. So how you expand it? If you have A plus B and C plus D, if you've got this kind of a bracket and you've got this kind of stuff with you, so what you need to do is every single term of the first bracket gets multiplied with the every other term of the second bracket. So this becomes AC, then here AD, then B comes in, BC, and then BD. I've just applied this logic to this bit here because this was x take away 3, 3x plus 1. I've exactly done. I've just multiplied here, 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 then here. And what I got was this. Did you get it now? I can see your video. That's fine. You can nod your head. That's okay. All right. Good. All right. Cool. Let's move ahead. This is called. Now, I don't know whether I did cover it, but I think a lot of you joined, have been joined. This is called binomial expansion. Binomial expansion. Right. This is, I think, a year 89 concept, binomial. All right. And yes, it becomes trinomial. Absolutely correct. You're right. Zor. So it eventually, when you open it up, it becomes a trinomial. Good. All right. Let's go next. Ignore that underlying, these uh, underlines. I mean, this is because I'm copying from the Word doc, so it's giving me an error. So focus on the question. I'm seeing a D. Okay. D. Anyone who don't know how to do this, can I see that on the chat? And don't be shy saying I don't know. You need to be brave enough and accept what you don't. Okay, that's fine, Praveen. I'll do that. Yes, it can come. Polynomials are a part and parcel of algebra. It can come in these. We're just doing polynomials at the moment. It's all polynomials, right? Okay. Uh, uh, cool. Let's do it. Let's look at this question. 6a minus b plus x a minus b. Now I ask you, a lot of you don't understand this. Can you just tell me on the chat, if you look at this and if you look at this, these two blocks, what is the common factor between the two? What is there which both of them have? It's not a beta, it's a minus b. A minus b. Correct. Both of them have a minus b, exactly. And that is what is common between the two. When I use the word common, I actually mean common factor. A lot of old school teachers just get away by using the word common, right? So, I mean, I'm an old school. So the common factor is a minus b. That's the first step. Let's pull out a minus b. Now, I'll place a bracket. And you now again have to tell me. I mean, please don't jump the gun, Shaveen. Guys, are just be with me, okay? Let me explain. Now, the next step is when you pull out a minus b out of the first term, what's remaining with the first term? What do you have? The poor first term has what remaining? 6. Thank you very much. Then I have a positive here. And when I pull out a minus b with the second term, what's remaining with the second term? Can you tell me? X. And you close the bracket. That's about it. Finish. You're done. You factorized it. 6 plus x and a minus b. Choice number D. That is what you need to do, period. It's super easy. Now you can flip the order, does not really matter. You can write it like that because this is actually a multiply. And I keep telling everyone that algebra is a lazy language. They don't write multiply. They don't write 1. Okay? All right. That was like a boggler. All right. Which tells me that people who are not able to do that, I mean, they need a bit of a practice. And we did a lot of these. And I have explained a lot on my videos. You go watch, every video is recorded. It's a playlist. Go watch and you can revise all the topics. All right, let's now come out of multiple choice questions and let's sort of do a bit more wordy questions. Right? I want you to think on this and give me the answer for part A, B, and C. Go for it. Read it and give me the answer. Sorry. I'll give you guys time, right, to do this. This is a bit more lengthy. I'll probably give. I'll speak at 9:32. I'll give you 2 minutes still. For 30 more seconds before I jump in. I haven't seen the right answer still, I guess, uh, unless I've missed the scrolls. Okay, right. Let's jump in. Let's jump in. It says a class of X students. So there are X students in the class. X students in the class. One third of the class swims in the ocean. X on 3 swims in the ocean, which actually is the answer to part A. While 1/5 of the class plays beach volleyball. X on 5 plays beach volleyball, which is answer to part B. Now this was problem solving part C. It says write an expression to represent the total number of students who either swam. How many swam? Swam were X on 3. This is a very, very important word, or. Or means you need to add them. Just add that in your brain. When you see an or, it is an addition. Or played beach volleyball, X on 5. That is the answer to part C. Simple. All right? All good. Let's go next. Unless the question tells you to simplify it, I will not do it. Right? I would not waste time on it. Right? Since we're talking about simplification, can we combine this into one single term? Can you give me the simplified form of this one? Let's see what you do now. Combine x on 3 plus x on 5 and give me one term. Quick. One answer from each person, and there are around 40-ish students right now. 38. Good. 8x over 15. How are we doing it? Let's make the denominator common. I multiply 5 here, I multiply 5 here, I multiply 3 here, I multiply 3 here. So this becomes 5x over 15 plus 3x over 15. Now, the moment I have that denominator common, I can bring that under one single fraction. And I can just, in this scenario, add the numerators. That is the answer. Good. Let's go next. Part A and part B. Go for it now. Whatever brios is, pyros is, how on earth does that really matter, right? Think about it. Think of erasers, think of sharpeners, right? Focus on the question. If you've got this kind of question in the exam, will you ask this question to the examiner that I don't understand English? No, right? You shouldn't be asking this question here. Go. Pick what you have and solve. Finish. This is not an English class at the moment, right? And even I don't know what this is. But I can still solve. Okay, let's do it. This guy had X pencils at B cents. So how much did he spend at the end for pencils? XB. And Y rose at B cents. How much did he spend there? YB. That's the answer for part A. Now let's factorize it. What is common factor between the two? B is the common factor. So when I pull out B from the first term, what's remaining with this poor first term? Has to be X. And then when I've pulled out B from the poor second term, this is just left with Y. That is the answer for part B, the factorized expression. Whenever you are asked to write a factorized expression, I don't know, I mean, I think you know very well. Factorization means you are actually converting a regular expanded algebraic expression into factors that are multiplying each other. So here, B is being multiplied with X and Y. So we've converted this into two factors, which when multiplied together will give me the expression. And again, I reiterate. So for example, if I have a number 6 and I ask you to convert this into a factorized form, which means I need to split this into two parts which should multiply each other to give 6 back. What would that be? 3 times 2. So this is the factorized form of 6. And that is where in algebra, this is the factorized form, because you have involved a product between the two factors, right? Okay, let's try one more. Take your time. Uh, let's try this. Go for it. When you are answering, give part A and B in one line as one answer. Part B might trick you. Good job, Zoro. Spot on. Right answers. No, sorry, hang on. Yes, right answer. Looks like. All right, let me expand this now. Let's do part A. Okay, I'm doing part A. In case you're doing it, keep moving. And in case people are stuck, I'm just solving it. Okay, let's do part A. 4 3x minus y plus 2 3x minus 5y. This 4 will get multiplied with every single term within the bracket. So 4 times 3 is 12x. Then 4 times negative y is negative 4y. Then this 2, positive 2 gets multiplied with every term within the bracket again. So positive 2 times positive 3x is positive 6x. And positive 2 times negative 5 is minus 10y. Now let's collect the like terms. 12x plus 6y minus 4y minus 10y. This becomes 18x minus 14y. That's the answer for part A. Let's do part B now. I'm writing it down because I'll have to then scroll down. Negative x, 2x minus y, minus 2y, y plus 3x. I'm scrolling it up. Negative x gets multiplied here. So this becomes negative 2x squared. Then negative x times negative y is positive xy. Then negative 2y times positive y becomes negative 2y squared. And negative 2y times positive 3x is negative 6xy. Let's collect the like terms. The only like terms that I can see are these two. So there's no like term here, so I'll just write it like that. There's no like term here, I'll just write it like that. But xy, which means 1xy, actually I'm doing 1xy minus 6xy is negative 5. Now you can write it in any order. You can write it like this, or you can write it like this. Does not really matter because at the end of the day, it is just expression. This is clear, everyone, right? Making sense. Okay, let's change the flavor of the work now. All right, let's test you on your basic understanding skills. C, okay, C is the right answer. Why C is the right answer? Because the linear equation, when the equation is linear, the maximum power of the x could be 1. It can't go over. The only expression that I can see here, which has a power of x greater than 1, is C. So the choice is C. Okay, let's go next. Go for it. People said, a lot of you said E. A lot of you said E. Unfortunately, E doesn't look to be the right answer to me. Doesn't look to be. Let's try. Right? Let's try. So I have y equals to 2a minus 3b. I need b to be the subject all alone. Let's get rid of whatever b has along with it. First step I need to get rid of is this 2a. So I'll say minus 2a here, minus 2a here. So basically this becomes, that's the first step, right? Then I have this negative 3 sitting with b. So I have to divide everything by negative 3, both the sides, to get rid of this negative 3. So negative 3 cancel. So now I have b equals to y minus 2a over negative 3. Now first things first, how on earth this looks like this? No, right? So if, I think most of you just said this. Most of you just said this, which brings me to a very big doubt on your algebra skills, right? E was not the answer. Neither is C. Let's look at the choices. This is where it becomes a bit more tricky. What I got was B equals to y minus 2a over negative 3. That's what I got, right? I'll probably sort of just make some more space here. I can't find any option here of my choice because I've got something really weird. For your kind information, the right answer is D, right? So this doesn't look close, this doesn't look close, this doesn't look close. The only choice that I could be confused between C and D, because they look very similar to what I've got. And now I'm teaching you how you eliminate. How you eliminate. Even if you don't know the right answer. The moment unless you have arrived at this answer, you cannot eliminate. Right? If you're not at this spot, you cannot eliminate. You need to be perfect to land at this spot. Number one. Now, once I have it here, A is gone, B is gone, E is gone. They don't look like what I've got. Let's look at C. C's got y minus 2. I've got y minus 2a. Cool. But hang on. C's got a 3. I've got a negative 3 here, so C is gone as well. Simple. Now, I really don't care, honestly speaking. If it is a multiple choice question, I would really not bother how my answer and D are same or not. I'll explain you why, but I will tick D in my exam and I'll move on. Simple. That is the way to do it. Now, let's make these two look like the same. So this minus, I can write it like this. If I take a negative 1 common on the top, I have negative y plus 2a over negative 3. Negative negative cancels. Now these two look exactly the same. 2a minus y. Okay? That is what it is. Right? That is what it is. Okay. Let's do another one. And probably the last question of the day, maybe. Let's see where we land. Which step is incorrect? Step 2 is what everyone's saying. Looks like, yes, step 2 is the incorrect step. Why? Because step 1 is okay. You expanded all of that. This is fine. Now step 2, you've got a positive 3x and a positive 4x. So you have to take 3x on both the sides. So this step should have been x plus 20 equals to 34. So step 2 is the culprit. Step 2 is the culprit. All right, now the next question will be the last question. And I give you exactly 1.5 minutes to solve this, starting now. All right. X is 30/11. Let's quickly solve it. I've got x plus, I expand the bracket. 7 times 4 makes it a 28. And then 7 take away x. 7 times minus x is negative 7x. Equals to 3x. This becomes 2 times x becomes positive 2x. And 2 times negative 1 becomes negative 2. I'll collect all the x's on one side and I'll take on the numbers on the other side. So I'll take negative 7x, I'll take this 3x, it becomes negative 3x, I'll take this 2x, it becomes negative 2x. Equals to, I've got a negative 2 here, fine. And I've got an x here as well. And I've got an x here as well. And this has got negative 2 and negative 28. Negative 28, negative 2 is 30. And here, if you combine all of that, it becomes negative 11x. X is 30/11. That should be the speed that you should be solving. All right, finally, we have finished what I wanted to do, right? I will quickly stop sharing it, right? And probably I can allow you to, I can. How do I mute you? You can just unmute yourself now if you really want to, I think. If you want to have anything you want to talk about. Anything, anyone, before we go? Last words? Arav, you've got a hand up. You've got anything to say? Arav Kochar. You have anything to say, my dear boy? No?
Thank you for teaching us, sir.
Oh, not a problem. Absolutely. It was a pleasure
I've learned a
teaching
lot.
you. Yep, it was wonderful. I learned a lot as well.
Thank you
Right.
so much.
All right. Anything else? Kinetic has a hands up.
For the past like 1 or 2 years that you've been teaching me, I've learned a lot and I've seen like a lot of improvement from how I was before. So I'd like to thank you for teaching not just me, but everyone else in this
Thank you. Thank you, Kinetic.
class.
You've been an absolute pleasure on the group, right?
Mm.
Thank you very much.